Thank you for auditing Professor Skye's Record Review, the only first listen new music review show, which used to be hosted by a French professor immediately after leaving the gym, and is now held in the cozy COVID confines of his home. So today I'm going to be reviewing another album by Patricia Taxxon. If you're not familiar with who she is, you're probably not a longtime fan of the show, but that's cool. She is an experimental work artist out of Santa Cruz, and last year she released one album a month. This year she's only released one, so a little bit down. And her music is not so much like the music that I was used to growing up. She's about half as old as I am, and so part of the reason that I started this channel was actually thanks to a friend of mine, Gabe, who's a really big fan of hers, and I realized I didn't quite understand her music or her approach. So part of this channel is a desire to understand her and musicians like her, musicians who have access to this kind of technology. See, when I was in a high school band, I could do nothing. I made cassette tapes and I left them at the door of clubs hoping they would listen. Seriously, that's how desperate it was. Now there's worldwide distribution where somebody who spends most of their time, I presume, alone in their room, goofed around with a computer, can make great art and can share that art with the world. And so that's who Patricia Taxxon is. I wouldn't think of her so much as a classical album producing musician as I would almost more akin to like a podcaster or a blogger of art. That sounds like I'm putting it down. I'm really not. I think it's great. I think it's interesting. And it lends a certain levity to each project, because like she tries one thing out. In her bio in Bandcamp, it says, I make music for different moods. And that's really true. Sometimes she's angry, sometimes she's sad, sometimes she's in a very playful mood. And it makes it quite interesting to listen to. And I would say, if you were interested, jump on. Because this kind of music, and particularly this kind of music production, is the present. I would say it's the future, but I'm 10 years too late to say that. So this album is called Sir Pentagon. First of all, I'm just going to make a guess. You see, now that I don't do all of my workouts at the gym, I just go for a lot of walks with the dogs, which require me to do a lot of voice to text. So I like say my notes while I'm walking. And my one dog, Bo, he pulls really hard, and so he has so much torque. He's a tiny guy, but he's all torque. Anyway, I go for these walks and I listen to the music on my headphones, and I hit record, and often the weirdest things come out. So my theory is that Sir Pentagon is actually an autocorrect of her name, Patricia Taxxon. Am I right? I don't know. Maybe the Taxxon community has been talking about this for months. I don't know. I'm not that connected to them. It's funny because she has a huge online following, but I don't pay attention to it. I'm trying to treat her as much as I can, just as an artist. This is a very ambient album, completely instrumental. I'm sort of hot and cold with her vocals, so that's welcome, but I also do like some of her vocals. I'd like it more when it's more of a mix, but still, it's nice. This is the kind of album which I think you should listen to if you want to be in a certain mood. She does a lot of like keyboard sounds, very kind of vintage video games. I mean, not like consciously, right? Like not trying to be like, what if Mega Man was actually the lead singer of Poison? It's nothing like that. Mental note. Make an album about Mega Man as the lead singer of Poison. It's more that the soundscape, the sounds that she chooses, often sound similar to that which would be made in a video game, but not really distracting. I would say it's done well. This album is basically I'm just saying, I'm trying not to move the table. My phone is on the computer. I ran out of paper. I'm not going to go to the grocery store, so I'm having to read my computer, which is right behind my phone. See if I touch the computer, see it jiggles. So I apologize for that. So this album is basically a theme album, a concept album. It's the life and times of this Sir Pentagon, and the cover features a pentagon. And I think this is intentional. I mean, a lot of her work is about identity, and I think this is like the idea of making an album about somebody named Sir Pentagon. Pentagon is a shape. It's a geological? No. Geographical? No. Geometric reality. It's just a geometric thing, a pentagon, right? So making kind of a cute, fun album about someone named Sir Pentagon, It does a little bit what, They Might Be Giants did with Triangle Man, but not as explicitly. It's just the story about Sir Pentagon as Sir Pentagon goes through their day. Is this an alter ego for Patricia? I don't know. I would imagine that it is, because I imagine that these are the activities, and each song is a different activity as you go throughout the day. So it's a nice album in that way, in which it has these kind of different moods of a day. It starts with a song called Wake Up, Sir Pentagon, and it's very aggravating at the beginning. She's really not afraid to annoy the hell out of you with her sound choices. But it's saved by the fact that as the song moves along, there's more interesting things that happen, there's better layers, and it ends up being actually a pretty nice song. In particular, the way that she layers things. And the whole album, it feels very much a product of the technology that she's using, where you can create a track and then layer on top of it and play with the play with the rhythms. That's not to take anything away from it. That requires skill, right? And then it goes on to Sir Pentagon Takes a Morning Run. Kind of funny. I don't know. I don't really picture Patricia Taxxon as a jogger, but basically everyone in California is a jogger, even if they don't jog. True fact. So it's kind of nice, just kind of, it has more, this album sort of goes in between sort of a more metallic feel and a little bit more of a bloopy feel. Bloopy is not a technical word, but I'm just going to use it. So this is much more metallic, but this is very cool, and this is worth listening to on headphones, because she does a lot of great things, panning back and forth. And I could imagine, if you're at home and you're working out and you're, I don't know, sad Nordic track that you left in the basement being covered in cobwebs, this could be good music to listen to kind of get you going. The next track is called Listen to Birds, or Sir Pentagon Listens to Birds. And this is funny, because I was on that walk trying to stop Bo from pulling my arm out of its socket. And there were so many birds. There were just so many birds outside. I heard owls. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning. I heard owls. I guess they're hungry too. And I heard robins and I heard jays. And then in this music, it's this very synthetic music, but then mixed in with some bird sounds. So we sort of have this nice day. And I don't know, maybe this is actually another good soundtrack to COVID-19. Everything that she does on this album, or everything he does, everything Sir Pentagon does on this album is something you can do. You can listen to birds. You can, as the next track, say, saunter home. Saunters home, very cool metallic synth work. And then after Sir Pentagon does his chores, Sir Pentagon has an afternoon nap. And that's where it transitions from the more metallic sounding to the more bloopy sounding. I'm saying bloopy, I think you'll understand why. I'll point it out, but it's bloop as opposed to zzz. And it's nice, it's kind of warm. It's like a warm, it's like the part in a video game where you walk into a church, and it's like got kind of warmer sounds. Reminds me of that. So I've also been playing Link to the Past with my daughter. It's very fun. We just beat that damn sand castle. Very, very difficult castle. Who likes sand levels in video games? Could you post that if you're watching this? Because I know a lot of gamers like Taxxon and like video games, Has there ever been a sand level that's actually fun? It's not just more annoying than fun? Maybe Gerudo Valley. Okay, moving on. And then the warmer sounds continue. In particular on the track, Sir Pentagon rides a bicycle. And this is cool because there's some what you call Mickey Mousing on this album, which is to say whenever like a musician is scoring a movie, the term is called Mickey Mousing. That's where you make a sound that imitates what's happening on the screen. It's looked down on, but I don't think it necessarily always should be. But still, it's interesting because it sounds in the beginning like wheels on a bicycle actually starting to go and starting to turn, and has these nice kind of different sounds, different rhythms going. It actually reminded me a little bit of the game Arkanoid, which I always throw these old video games out, but it's a game in which a ball comes and hits a little paddle and goes up. It's a developed version of the game Breakout, and it has this really cool boop, beep, boop, beep, beep, boop kind of music to it. That creates odd rhythms. And this sort of made me think of that, but mainly it just worked. It worked painting a soundscape for me of being Sir Pentagon, and I just imagined a pentagon riding a bicycle. So here is Sir Pentagon Rides His Bicycle by Patricia Taxxon. I'm gonna try to turn off the heat because that makes an annoying noise. I'll be right back. So this gives you a sense of the ambiance of the album, the feeling of the album. It's all right in this zone. And you hear how it kind of develops, right? This more aggressive sound comes in and plays, and more rhythms come, and it gets richer the more you listen. This is going to be the third time I've listened to this album today, and it keeps getting richer and nicer. So there you go. More of those great sounds. And this is great. Something like Coronavirus is really great for, Bandcamp and SoundCloud rappers and musicians, because it gives them an excuse to do what they're doing. They don't have to go to work. Or podcasters and YouTubers. So then we get Sir Pentagon finds a quiet place to have a snack and skip rocks. I think she just wanted to use that title. It's nice though. It's a good song, but it's not quite as good as that previous one, which just has that really great layering. Sir Pentagon saunters home on a bicycle, gets a little bit more industrial again, a little bit more jagged, a little bit less soft, and that leads into Sir Pentagon gets ready for bed, or is getting ready for bed, and it's very sweet, as you might expect. But then the track Sweet Dreams, Sir Pentagon, is actually quite aggressive. I don't know why this is, but she decided to end the album on a song that doesn't feel like going to sleep. It's the opposite of the Mickey Mousing. The sensation of having sweet dreams is not achieved with this song. So I don't know. Maybe that's intentional. Maybe Sir Pentagon doesn't have sweet dreams. Maybe there's a deep history to Sir Pentagon. Or maybe Patricia Taxxon was just saying her name into a telephone and it came up as Sir Pentagon. And she thought, hey, why not just make an album called Sir Pentagon and see what happens? Because that's what we can do now. It's awesome. Okay, well, until next time, I think I might have to review that Weekend album, but god damn it, I hate cocaine. I just hate things about cocaine. Cocaine makes me feel gross. I've never done cocaine. I've seen it done. I've been around people who are doing it. It just makes me feel gross. I just don't like thinking about cocaine, so I'm probably not going to review the Weekend's album. He sings too much about coke. Okay, well, until next time, for the Coca-Cola Polar Bears, there's the camera. Wait, where is it? Have I been looking at the wrong camera the whole time? Wait, no, it is there. Okay.